Welcome to my channel, Valuable Coins All World. If you've ever wondered if those old coins you have lying around could be worth a fortune, you're in the right place. In today's video, we're diving into some of the rarest US coins, revealing their jaw-dropping values that will leave you amazed. Stick with us till the end. You won't want to miss what these hidden treasures could be worth. Let's get started. Top 1. In the heart of American coin collecting, few coins stir up the same level of excitement and curiosity as the Washington quarter dollar. And among them, one year stands out, not because it's the rarest or the oldest, but because of the secrets hidden within its mintage. That year is 1970. At first glance, the 1970 Washington quarter may appear just like any other quarter you'd find in your pocket change. But for collectors, historians, and treasure hunters, this year holds a coin that has made waves in the numismatic world. The 1970 Washington quarter might seem unassuming, but deep within its metallic core lies a story of mystery, error, and unbelievable value. What sets it apart isn't just its age or condition, it's what went wrong during its creation. A rare minting mistake turned a small handful of these coins into six-figure legends, the kind of discovery that sends collectors racing to their coin jars in hopes of uncovering a fortune. To truly appreciate the significance of this quarter, we must take a journey back in time to the early 1970s. The Vietnam War was still raging, American culture was evolving rapidly, and the U.S. Mint was busily striking coins to keep up with a growing economy. It was a time of change and intensity, and like all transitional periods in history, mistakes were bound to happen. In 1970, the U.S. Mint was preparing proof sets for collectors with extraordinary detail and craftsmanship. These coins were meant to be perfect, polished, and pristine, a showcase of the Mint's capability. But amid the perfection, something incredible happened. Certain quarters from that year were struck on leftover silver Canadian quarters from 1941. It sounds unbelievable, but it's absolutely true. Imagine a modern American coin struck over a foreign coin from nearly 3 decades prior. The result? A quarter with ghostly remnants of an older design underneath, creating a double-layered piece of numismatic art. These are not simply coins. They're historical anomalies, each one telling a story that spans decades and borders. Only a few of these extraordinary error coins have ever been discovered. One of the most famous examples bears visible traces of the word Canada underneath the U.S. design. For collectors, such a piece isn't just valuable. It's a conversation with history, a coin that whispers secrets from a forgotten past. And it's this very whisper that has echoed across auction floors, where fierce bidding wars have broken out over a single coin. But not all valuable 1970 quarters are struck on Canadian silver. Some possess their own unique set of errors, off-center strikes, double die obverse, broad-struck patterns, or anomalies in the date and lettering. Each variation adds a new level of intrigue and mystery, and collectors across the country hunt tirelessly for these elusive pieces. Even outside of mint errors, the condition of a 1970 quarter can play a massive role in its value. Most of these coins entered circulation and were used daily, scratched and dulled by time. But a few managed to survive untouched, still shimmering with their original luster. When graded by professional agencies and earning a rating of MS 67 or higher, their value skyrockets. Some collectors even specialize in finding specific varieties within the 1970 quarter series. These can include subtle differences in the mint mark positioning, strike depth, or even microscopic design changes. It's a game of precision and patience, but the reward can be extraordinary. One tiny detail can turn a 25-cent piece into a 5-figure payday. And then there are the proof quarters. While most 1970s proof quarters are common among collectors, a select few contain unusual characteristics, such as mirror-like fields with frosted devices that create an eye-catching contrast. A deep cameo proof quarter in perfect condition is highly desirable and extremely hard to come by. Another compelling aspect of the 1970 Washington quarter is how it reflects the evolution of American coinage. Though the coin itself doesn't contain silver, its connection to past and future designs makes it historically significant. It bridges the gap between silver and clad coinage, between mid-century tradition and modern collecting, that it's no wonder that coin experts and treasure hunters alike are obsessed with this year. They know the magic is in the details. Whether it's a rare overstrike, a flawless proof, or a wildly misaligned die, the 1970 quarter offers the thrill of discovery few other coins can match. The demand for these special quarters has only increased over time. As more collectors enter the scene and information spreads across social media and YouTube, the desire to own a piece of minting history grows. And with demand comes value, sky-high value. There have been astonishing moments in recent years where these coins have been found in the most unexpected places. A dusty drawer, an old collection, or even inside a roll of coins from the bank. It's these surprises that keep collectors searching day after day, with hope in their hearts and a magnifying glass in hand. Many beginners wonder how to start their search. The answer is simple. Look closely. Examine every 1970 quarter you come across. Check for weight differences, design anomalies, strange textures, or traces of foreign lettering. You never know when lightning might strike. That it's also essential to get your coins professionally graded. A coin that looks ordinary could fetch thousands more once it receives a high grade from PCGS or NGC. The official certification adds credibility and trust, especially when selling to serious collectors or putting a coin up for auction. Some of the most dedicated collectors even invest in high-resolution microscopes and digital scales to examine their coins. They study auction records, follow numismatic forums, and attend coin shows across the country. They know that every 1970 quarter has a story to tell, and they're determined to find the next chapter. The beauty of coin collecting is that anyone can participate. You don't need to be wealthy or have insider connections. All you need is curiosity, patience, and an appreciation for history. That's why the 1970 Washington quarter remains such an iconic symbol. It reminds us that treasure can truly be found anywhere. Parents pass their collections down to their children, sharing not just coins, but the thrill of the hunt. Each generation becomes a part of the story, adding new discoveries and continuing the legacy of these remarkable coins. The 1970 quarter stands as a centerpiece in many of these heirloom collections. Even seasoned experts are occasionally surprised by what turns up. Coins thought to be common suddenly reveal rare die varieties. Forgotten boxes from the 1970s yield gleaming quarters in near-perfect condition. It's a field full of wonder and endless potential. So, if you have a 1970 quarter lying around, don't overlook it. Take a closer look. It might be scratched and worn, or it might be something truly special. A simple glance could turn into a life-changing moment, and a forgotten coin could become the centerpiece of your collection. In the world of coins, timing, luck, and knowledge combine in fascinating ways. The 1970 Washington quarter is proof that even a small piece of metal can hold incredible value and tell a story far bigger than itself. And when rarity, error, and pristine preservation come together, the result can be astonishing. Because one extraordinary example of the 1970 Washington quarter dollar has sold for an unbelievable price of $150,000. Top 2. In the world of coin collecting, some coins earn their value through precious metals, while others earn it through mistakes, mystery, and history. The 1972 Washington quarter dollar may not be made of silver or gold, but it carries a value far beyond what most people imagine. It's a coin that hides in plain sight, often buried deep within pocket change or forgotten drawers, quietly waiting to be discovered by someone who understands what makes it extraordinary. The Washington Quarter Series began in 1932 to commemorate the 200th birthday of George Washington, and it quickly became a staple in American commerce. Over the years, the design evolved slightly, but by 1972, it remained largely unchanged, still bearing the dignified profile of the nation's first president on the obverse, and the proud eagle perched with wings spread on the reverse. But don't let its familiar face fool you. The 1972 quarter has a story that sets it apart in powerful ways. The 1972 quarter was struck during a time of economic transition in the United States. The mint was still adjusting from the recent removal of silver in coins, and production was operating at high speed to keep up with national demand. This rush led to a series of unnoticed minting errors, some of which slipped past quality control and ended up in the hands of unsuspecting Americans. Collectors often search for coins with mint errors, and the 1972 quarter has delivered more than its fair share of surprises. One of the most exciting errors comes in the form of double dies. A double die error occurs when the die used to strike the coin shifts slightly between impressions, causing parts of the design, like the date, lettering, or Liberty inscription, to appear doubled. On a 1972 quarter, this kind of doubling is rare and dramatic, making it a dream find for anyone with a sharp eye. Then there are the off-center strikes. When a coin isn't properly aligned during minting, the design can appear shifted or partially missing. These off-center quarters from 1972 are highly collectible, especially when the date is still visible. Some examples have even been found struck more than 50% off-center, which creates a bizarre and fascinating appearance unlike anything you'd expect in your change. The 1972 quarter is also known for broad-struck errors, where the coin is struck outside the collar that normally shapes its edges. The result is a wider, flatter coin with smooth rims. It may look unusual, but to collectors, that uniqueness is what drives its value skyward. And when combined with a high grade of preservation, the price tag attached to these rare variations becomes staggering. Beyond errors, condition plays a crucial role in determining a coin's value. Most quarters from 1972 were used daily, passed from hand to hand, tossed into jars, and worn down by decades of circulation. But a few rare specimens were never spent. Instead, they were carefully stored and preserved, protected from scratches, dings, and the dulling touch of time. These coins, when graded as MS-67 or higher, are worth far more than face value. What makes the 1972 quarter even more thrilling is that not all its mysteries have been uncovered. Even today, numismatists and amateur collectors alike are still discovering new varieties, slightly different dies, barely noticeable design shifts, and other subtle characteristics that make one coin stand out from another. It's this sense of discovery that keeps the passion for coin collecting alive. You might wonder how such an ordinary-looking coin could command serious money. The answer lies in rarity combined with curiosity. Every known mint error or variety adds to the legend of the 1972 quarter, building its story with each new find. And collectors, always hungry for the next big discovery, are willing to pay top dollar to own a piece of that story. Even the mint marks play a role in a coin's desirability. In 1972, quarters were minted in Philadelphia, no mint mark, Denver, marked with a D, and San Francisco, marked with an S for proof coins. While most proofs were carefully struck for collectors, a small number escaped under unusual circumstances, sometimes ending up in circulation or displaying unexpected characteristics that made them all the more valuable. The proof versions of the 1972 quarter, especially those with deep cameo contrast, are particularly appealing. These coins showcase sharp detail and mirror-like fields, the result of special polishing techniques used during minting. When found in perfect or near-perfect condition, they're not just collectible. They're considered stunning works of miniature art. Part of the beauty of coin collecting is that the most valuable coins often begin as humble objects. No one expected the 1972 quarter to become a star among collectors. Yet through a combination of luck, error, and preservation, certain specimens have risen far above their 25-cent origin. They're reminders that treasure doesn't always come in the form of ancient artifacts or gold doubloons. Sometimes it's hiding in a simple quarter. For beginners, the 1972 quarter represents a fantastic entry point into the world of coins. It's recent enough to be found, yet rare enough to be exciting. All it takes is a little knowledge, a keen eye, and the determination to look through coin rolls, old collections, or inherited jars filled with forgotten change. The thrill of the hunt is very real. Stories continue to emerge of people discovering valuable 1972 quarters in coin shows, online marketplaces, or even in their own homes. It's not just about the money. It's about the excitement, the history, and the feeling of uncovering something few others have. Coin experts suggest weighing your 1972 quarters or checking for unusual thickness, doubling, or design distortions. Anything out of the ordinary could mean you're holding something truly exceptional. And if you do, the next step is to send it to a professional grading service for authentication and certification. A coin with a top-tier grade and a recognized mint error becomes a collector's gem. It transforms from an everyday object to a prized possession, one that could be displayed, traded, or even auctioned for a hefty sum. The journey from loose change to showcase centerpiece is a remarkable one. And it all starts with a coin minted in 1972. Social media platforms and YouTube have helped fuel the popularity of coin collecting, especially when collectors share their finds with the world. Videos showcasing rare quarters, including the elusive 1972 errors, have inspired a new generation of numismatists to dig into their collections with renewed passion. Collectors often form communities, both online and in person, where knowledge is shared, trades are made, and coins are admired. The 1972 quarter has sparked countless conversations and debates, all focused on finding that perfect coin with the right error, the right look, and the right grade. Whether you're a seasoned expert or just starting your coin journey, the 1972 Washington quarter dollar offers a path filled with wonder. It represents more than just currency. It's a connection to American history, to the art of minting, and to the ever-growing world of treasure hunting. Many people never think twice about the coins in their pockets, but those who do often find stories, surprises, and sometimes life-changing discoveries. And the 1972 quarter is proof of that possibility. What seems ordinary can, in fact, be extraordinary. The next time you see a Washington quarter from 1972, don't overlook it. Turn it in your hand. Examine its details. Weigh it, measure it, compare it. Because you never know, you could be holding a coin worth more than most people ever dream. Point 1 Rare and extraordinary 1972 Washington quarter dollar, because of its condition and minting errors, was sold for the breathtaking price of $144,000. Top 3. Every once in a while, a seemingly ordinary coin turns out to be something truly extraordinary. In the vast and fascinating world of American coinage, there are hidden treasures that wait patiently in old drawers, pocket change, or dusty coin jars, quietly holding stories that only a few curious collectors take the time to uncover. One such treasure lies within the humble yet mysterious 1973 Washington quarter dollar, a coin that at first glance appears completely normal, but in rare cases becomes the centerpiece of numismatic dreams. The Washington Quarter Series, originally launched in 1932 to honor the 200th birthday of George Washington, has long been a symbol of American tradition. For decades, it has passed through millions of hands without much thought. But for coin collectors, each date, mint mark, and design detail tells a different story, and the 1973 quarter carries more mystery and potential than most people could ever imagine. The early 1970s was a period of transition for American coin production. Silver had been removed from circulating quarters nearly a decade earlier, and the U.S. Mint was now producing coins using a copper-nickel clad composition. Though the 1973 quarter doesn't contain silver, what it does contain is far more rare. The potential for unique errors, unintentional varieties, and remarkable mint state examples that are nearly impossible to find in today's market. It's important to understand that millions of 1,973 quarters were produced, over 350 million from the Philadelphia Mint, and around 232 million from Denver. But in this massive sea of coins, only a very small number contain the kinds of mistakes or minting anomalies that transform them into rare and valuable collector's items. And when such a coin is found in pristine condition, its value can rise to astonishing levels. One of the most sought-after error types in the 1973 quarter is the double die obverse. This occurs when the coin die shifts slightly during production, causing elements like the date, lettering, or even the face of Washington himself to appear doubled. While subtle to the untrained eye, this doubling can dramatically increase the coin's value, especially if the doubling is bold and clean. Another fascinating error is the off-center strike. This happens when the coin blank isn't properly aligned with the die during the strike. Depending on how far off-center the design appears and whether the date remains fully visible, these coins can become extremely desirable. The more dramatic the error, the more collectors want to own it. Also among the rarities are coins that were broad struck. These coins are struck without the coin collar that normally forms the edges. This results in a flattened, wider quarter with missing reeded edges. While this may look like damage to the untrained eye, for collectors, it's a sign of a rare minting process gone awry, an error that's worth money. Then there are transitional errors, coins that were struck using incorrect planchets left over from previous years. Although it's extremely rare, There are rumors of a few 1973 quarters struck on leftover silver or foreign coin planchets. These mysterious pieces spark debate and excitement every time one surfaces. Their existence adds an element of adventure and uncertainty to the hobby of coin hunting. For many, the true value lies not just in the error, but in the condition. Most 1973 quarters saw heavy circulation, picked up scratches, dings, and years of wear. But every now and then, a nearly flawless example appears, a coin that was preserved in perfect condition, untouched by time. When such coins are professionally graded and assigned a high mint state (MS) rating, especially MS 67 or higher, they become true collector's gold. Grading is a crucial step in determining a coin's worth. Reputable grading companies like PCGS and NGC examine coins under strict criteria, checking for luster, surface quality, and strike sharpness. A high-grade 1973 quarter with an error variety or remarkable condition instantly becomes a centerpiece in any serious collection. Even among proof coins, the 1973 quarter holds surprises. Proof coins are specially struck with extra detail and mirror-like finishes, typically for collectors. These were produced at the San Francisco Mint and bear the S Mint mark. However, a few unexpected finds, such as proof coins with unusual finishes or misplaced mint marks, have captured the attention of experts across the country. Some quarters even display anomalies in the mint mark itself: repunched mint marks, misplaced mint marks, or even missing mint marks entirely. These slight inconsistencies, invisible to most, are the kind of discoveries that spark fierce bidding wars among collectors who know exactly what they're looking at. And sometimes, it's not the errors, but the story behind the coin that adds value. Perhaps a 1973 quarter comes from a famous estate, was part of a historical collection, or was one of a small batch pulled directly from mint bags and stored away. These stories, when combined with a rare feature or pristine condition, elevate a coin's status in the eyes of collectors and historians alike. Coin collecting isn't just about metal and markings. It's about passion, patience, and discovery. And the 1973 Washington quarter is a perfect example of how something seemingly ordinary can become extraordinary when examined closely. It reminds us that the past is never too far away and that even the smallest coin can hold a story worth telling. As more and more people take up coin collecting, the spotlight continues to shine on these mid-century coins. Collectors are now revisiting overlooked years like 1973, combing through rolls and coin jars, looking for those subtle details that separate a 25-cent coin from one worth thousands. Social media platforms and YouTube have given collectors a global stage to share their discoveries. Stories of 1973 quarters with errors, high grades, or unique features have gone viral, fueling a new wave of interest in this fascinating year of the Washington quarter. Numismatics has never been more alive. With every passing year, the supply of untouched, original 1973 quarters shrinks, making the surviving high-quality examples even more valuable. That rarity, combined with the thrill of discovery, is what makes the hunt so addictive. Whether you're a casual hobbyist or a serious coin hunter, the lesson is clear: always pay attention to your change. Look twice before spending that old quarter. We never know what kind of story is waiting behind the shine or the scratches of a well-traveled coin. The market for rare coins continues to climb, and as new collectors enter the scene, demand for unique finds only increases. Experts believe that certain years, like 1973, still hold surprises that haven't been discovered yet. The next big find could be hiding in a coin jar at home. Collectors also recommend building a library of resources, books, digital guides, and forums to sharpen your eye and stay updated on the latest discoveries. That knowledge could mean the difference between a quarter worth 25 cents and one worth a small fortune. The community of collectors is full of stories about life-changing finds. One person buys an old roll of quarters from a flea market and discovers an error coin. Another inherits a jar of change and finds a gem-quality coin hiding inside. These stories aren't myths. They're real, and they happen more often than you might think. If you're lucky enough to find a 1973 quarter that looks different, weighs oddly, or has an unusual strike, don't let it slip away. Have it appraised. Send it in for grading. Take your time and do your research. because you might just be sitting on a piece of American coinage history. Collectors say the journey is just as exciting as the destination. The 1973 quarter invites us to be curious, to explore the unnoticed, and to appreciate the stories hidden in our everyday change. It transforms a common object into a powerful reminder that value is often found where we least expect it. And in one remarkable case, a stunning 1973 Washington quarter dollar, featuring a rare mint error and preserved in near-perfect condition, was sold for the incredible amount of $140,000. Top 4. In the vast landscape of American coinage, where each coin carries not just monetary value but a legacy of the nation's past, certain coins seem to rise above the rest, not necessarily for their age or precious metal content, but for the mysteries they hold and the stories they tell. One such fascinating piece is the 1980 Washington quarter dollar. At first glance, it appears just like any other coin you might find in your change, but don't let its common appearance fool you. This coin has the potential to turn everyday change into a jaw-dropping fortune. The Washington quarter has long been an iconic part of American currency. Introduced in 1932, it was meant to honor the 200th birthday of the nation's first president. Over time, it became one of the most circulated coins in the United States. By the time the 1980s rolled around, the Washington quarter had already seen decades of production, yet in that very year, something special happened. Something that would later make certain 1980 quarters incredibly valuable to collectors and coin enthusiasts alike. The 1980 Washington quarter marked a time when the U.S. Mint was pushing high volumes of coin production. Economic growth, inflation, and increased demand for coinage led to accelerated minting at all three major facilities: Philadelphia, Denver, and San Francisco. But with increased production often comes increased chances of error. And that's where the true story of the 1980 quarter begins. Many of the most valuable coins in circulation are not those made of silver or gold, but those created in error. Minting mistakes are the heartbeat of the coin collecting world, and the 1980 quarter became a prime example. While the vast majority of these coins were minted perfectly, a select few escaped with fascinating flaws, misalignments, double strikes, off-center images, and die errors that collectors dream of discovering. Among the most prized errors found on 1980 quarters are the dramatic off-center strikes. These are coins that were improperly fed into the press, resulting in designs that appear noticeably shifted. When these off-center errors still show the full date, including the crucial 1980, their value increases significantly. For some collectors, the more bizarre the strike, the more desirable the coin becomes. Double die errors are another category of excitement. A double die occurs when the coin die shifts slightly between strikes, causing inscriptions and images, like the word liberty, the motto "In God We Trust," or even George Washington's face, to appear slightly doubled. While not many 1980 quarters are known to display this error, the ones that do are worth a fortune. Then there are planchet errors, where the coin blank itself is the wrong material or shape. Some extremely rare 1980 quarters have been discovered struck on foreign planchets, thin metal blanks intended for coins of other nations, or struck using planchets from other denominations, like dimes or nickels. These oddities are unbelievably rare, but when authenticated, they explode in value due to their rarity and uniqueness. Collectors also hunt for broad-struck 1980 quarters, coins that were minted without the retaining collar that forms their edges. These pieces come out wider and flatter than a normal quarter and lack the reeded edge we're so familiar with. They may not seem visually appealing to the average person, but to numismatists, they represent a critical moment of minting failure, one that becomes a valuable treasure, but not all the value lies in error. Some 1980 quarters become valuable simply because of their extraordinary condition. Most of the coins minted in 1980 were circulated heavily, spending decades in pockets, jars, and vending machines. As a result, very few survive in uncirculated or mint state condition. A 1980 quarter that has never been touched by human hands, stored in a protective casing since its birth, is incredibly hard to find today. Coin grading services like PCGS and NGC have confirmed that 1980 quarters in mint state 67 or higher are extremely rare. With perfect luster, sharp design details, and no visible imperfections, These coins are coveted by collectors who want the very best examples of each mint year. And when a high-grade coin is combined with an error variety, its value can reach astronomical heights. Adding even more intrigue to the 1980 quarter is the introduction of the P mint mark on Philadelphia minted coins. For decades, coins from the Philadelphia Mint had no mint mark, but starting in 1980, the P was added to the quarter for the first time. This seemingly minor change marked a new era in U.S. coinage and adds a layer of historical significance to this year's quarter. Collectors who focus on first-year varieties often see added value in coins like the 1980 P quarter. It may not be rare in quantity, but in perfect condition or with an error, it represents a piece of numismatic history. That P mint mark, simple as it seems, adds one more reason to pay attention to this unassuming coin, that it's important to remember that many of these error coins go unnoticed because most people don't know what to look for. Coins are spent, tossed, and collected without inspection. But for those who take the time to examine their quarters, especially from 1980, the rewards can be life-changing. Finding these treasures requires patience, a good magnifying glass, and a little bit of luck. Coin roll hunters, estate sale explorers, and even casual collectors have all made stunning discoveries simply by looking closely. It's a hobby that combines education with the thrill of the unknown. Social media and YouTube have become powerful tools for spreading awareness about valuable coins. As stories of rare 1980 quarters emerge, more people are inspired to check their change. One viral post can lead thousands of people to discover that the treasure they've been looking for might already be in their home. Coin dealers and collectors across the country continue to report exciting finds. From dramatically off-center coins to perfectly preserved mint-state quarters, the 1980 series has proven time and again that it holds surprises. The only question is, who will find the next one? Some of the most exciting discoveries have come from unlikely places. Old piggy banks, inherited coin jars, forgotten collections tucked away in closets. That's the beauty of coin collecting. No matter your age, location, or background, you could be one coin away from something extraordinary. Even new collectors can participate in the hunt. You don't need a fortune to begin, just a willingness to learn and the excitement of possibility. Every time you receive change or sort through coins, you're diving into a world of hidden history and potential value. For those lucky enough to find a rare 1980 quarter with a mint error, high grade, or both, it's essential to get it authenticated. Certification from a trusted grading service not only confirms the coin's details, but can dramatically increase its market value. When the right coin is properly certified, it becomes a numismatic superstar. The journey of the 1980 quarter, from a common circulating coin to a prized collector's gem, is a powerful reminder of how overlooked items can hold extraordinary value. It's not just about money. It's about discovering something unique, something historical, something real. With time, fewer and fewer of these rare varieties will remain hidden. As they are found, graded, and sold, the chance of discovering another only becomes more exciting. That's why now is the perfect moment to begin the search. While mystery still surrounds these coins the next time a 1980 Washington quarter passes through your hands, stop and take a closer look. Examine its features. Feel its edges. Observe its shine. You just might be holding a piece of American history, waiting to reveal its secret to someone who sees its true worth. And yes, one extraordinary example of a 1980 Washington quarter dollar, featuring an incredible mint error and preserved in superb condition, was sold for the unbelievable amount of $120,000. Top 5. In the world of numismatics, where history, rarity, and beauty come together to create value far beyond face worth, one coin from the mid-1980s continues to capture attention and ignite excitement among collectors across the country. That coin is the 1984 Washington quarter dollar. It may seem like just another ordinary coin in your change, but some rare and unusual examples of this year's issue have become valuable treasures in the hands of those who take the time to look closely. The Washington quarter has long been a pillar of American coinage. Introduced in 1932 to commemorate George Washington's 200th birthday, this coin became one of the most recognizable in circulation. Over the decades, it passed through millions of hands, bought billions of goods, and quietly recorded its place in American history. But in 1984, something unexpected began to happen. Quarters from that year started appearing with peculiar characteristics that would go unnoticed by most people, but not by collectors. The 1984 Washington quarter was minted at 3 locations: Philadelphia, Denver, and San Francisco. The coins from Philadelphia carry no mint mark, while those from Denver are marked with a bold D. The San Francisco quarters, known for being proof coins intended for collectors, carry the S mint mark. Each mint struck millions of these coins. But as always, there are exceptions. Coins that slipped through the cracks of standard minting procedures. Some of the rarest and most valuable 1984 quarters owe their worth not to age or material, but to errors. Minting errors are highly prized in the coin collecting world, and 1984 had its fair share of unusual mistakes. These errors can transform a common coin into a highly sought-after rarity worth thousands. Or even more point, one of the most famous errors found on 1984 quarters is the dramatic off-center strike. This occurs when the coin blank isn't properly aligned during minting, causing the image and lettering to appear partially outside the intended area. These errors can range from slight misalignments to extreme cases where over half the design is missing. The more dramatic the off-center strike, the higher the value, especially when the date is still visible. Another noteworthy error is the double die obverse. In these rare instances, the die used to strike the coin features a doubled image, causing parts of the design, like the word liberty, the motto "In God We Trust," or even Washington's face, to appear slightly duplicated. While subtle to some, this doubling effect is a treasure to collectors and can drastically increase a coin's market value. But that's not all. A small number of 1984 quarters have also been discovered with planchet errors, struck on the wrong type of metal or on blanks meant for foreign coins. These anomalies are exceptionally rare, and when authenticated, they fetch eye-popping prices at auction. They are the kinds of coins that make headlines and spark debates among experts. Some 1984 quarters were broad-struck, meaning they were struck without the collar that normally shapes the coin's edges. This results in a coin that appears wider and smoother than normal, with flattened rims. These mistakes don't affect the design dramatically, but they're unusual enough to make collectors take notice. Condition also plays a major role in determining a coin's value. Most 1984 quarters have been in circulation for decades, showing signs of wear, scratches, and fading. However, a small number have been preserved in flawless condition, untouched by time. These mint-state examples, especially those graded MS-67 or higher, are incredibly rare and valuable. Professional grading services like PCGS and NGC use a strict scale to assess a coin's condition. Grading is essential for serious collectors and investors, as it not only confirms a coin's authenticity, but also boosts its value significantly. A 1984 quarter in mint-state condition with a known error can go from being a pocket coin to a highly prized showpiece. Some proof versions of the 1984 quarter, minted in San Francisco, also show unusual features. While proof coins are generally flawless, a few have surfaced with minor imperfections, such as frosting inconsistencies or strike-through marks, that make them unique. When these coins combine rarity with an unusual appearance, their value multiplies. Beyond errors and conditions, there's a growing interest in varieties, subtle differences between coins that are intentional but still rare. Some 1984 quarters feature minor die changes or mint mark variations that only become visible under magnification. These varieties are like hidden codes, waiting to be discovered by the sharp-eyed collector. Coin collectors often share their finds and stories online, fueling the excitement surrounding certain coins. Social media posts, YouTube videos, and numismatic forums are filled with pictures and discussions about amazing 1984 quarter finds, proving that this year remains a hot topic in the hobby. The thrill of the hunt is what keeps so many collectors engaged. Searching through old change, buying coin rolls from the bank, or attending estate sales. These are all ways that people continue to stumble upon valuable coins, including rare 1984 quarters. It's a hobby that offers the promise of discovery with every new coin examined. Even beginners can get involved in the search. All it takes is a little knowledge, some patience, and a magnifying glass. Knowing what to look for, whether it's doubling, off-center strikes, or unusual surfaces, can lead to the find of a lifetime. The world of coin collecting is wide open to anyone with curiosity and determination. The most incredible part is that many of these rare quarters are still out there. They sit unnoticed in dresser drawers, piggy banks, and forgotten boxes. Each one is a potential hidden gem, waiting to be identified by someone who knows their true value. Collectors often say that coins tell stories, and the 1984 quarter is no exception. It tells a story of precision, of accident, and of the incredible value that comes from imperfection. It reminds us that even in a year most people forget, greatness can be found in the smallest of places. There are also countless stories of people who stumbled upon rare coins by pure chance. Someone finds an error coin while sorting through their late grandfather's collection. Another person notices an off-center quarter at the gas station. These stories may seem like chance, but they are made possible by awareness and attention to detail. But it's also important to remember the role of timing. As more collectors enter the market, demand for rare coins like the 1984 quarter continues to rise. Coins that were once undervalued are now fetching premium prices. The window for finding these hidden treasures is still open, but not forever. Coin shows, auctions, and dealer networks also play a major role in helping collectors buy, sell, and trade valuable coins. A rare 1984 quarter with the right error and the right grade can become the centerpiece of a collection and the star of a display case. Whether you're collecting for passion or investment, the 1984 Washington quarter is a perfect example of how American coins continue to surprise us. Its hidden value, historical significance, and potential for incredible rarity make it one of the most exciting coins of the decade. The next time you come across a 1984 quarter, don't dismiss it as just another piece of change. Look at it closely. Examine every detail. Weigh it, check the edges, inspect the mint mark. Because you never know, you might just be holding something truly extraordinary. And in one remarkable case, a rare 1984 Washington quarter dollar, featuring a dramatic error and preserved in outstanding condition, sold for an astonishing $113,000. Top 6. In the fast-paced world of modern coin collecting, it's often the unexpected years that spark the greatest excitement, and the 1995 Washington quarter dollar is one such coin. At first glance, it may seem like an ordinary piece of currency, part of a design Americans had seen for decades. But as collectors know, not all coins are created equal. And in the case of the 1995 quarter, hidden value lies just beneath the surface, waiting to be discovered by those who know what to look for. The Washington quarter had already enjoyed over 60 years of circulation by the time 1995 rolled around. Originally introduced in 1932 to commemorate the 200th anniversary of George Washington's birth, this coin had become a symbol of American history and pride. Featuring the familiar profile of the first U.S. president on the obverse and the heraldic eagle on the reverse, its design was classic and deeply familiar to generations of Americans. In 1995, quarters were produced at 3 major U.S. mints: Philadelphia, Denver, and San Francisco. Each location left its mark, literally, on the coins it struck. The Philadelphia coins bore no mint mark. Denver's featured the classic D, and San Francisco produced proof coins with an elegant S. But even within these vast productions, anomalies slipped through, and that's where the true magic of the 1995 quarter begins. Thousands of collectors today are scouring their change for what numismatists call error coins. These coins are the result of mistakes during the minting process, errors that can include doubling of images, off-center strikes, clipped planchets, or wrong metal compositions. And in the case of the 1995 quarter, all these types of errors have been found and documented, making this year especially intriguing for collectors. One of the most talked about features among rare 1995 quarters is the doubled die obverse. In this case, parts of the design, such as the date, the word liberty, or the phrase "in God we trust," appear doubled, slightly shifted from their original position. This occurs when the coin die is improperly prepared, creating a layered effect that is both rare and highly valuable. Another standout error includes off-center strikes. These visually dramatic mistakes occur when the coin blank is not properly aligned within the press, resulting in a partial design and a blank crescent along the edge. Some of these off-center strikes still show a visible date, making them especially desirable among collectors who prize uniqueness and identifiable details. Some 1995 quarters have also been found struck on foreign planchets, metal blanks intended for other nations' coins that somehow made their way into U.S. mint machinery. These errors are rare and unexpected, instantly making the coin an item of fascination and considerable value due to its mysterious nature. Planchet errors aren't the only hidden treasures. A small batch of 1995 quarters was discovered with broad-struck edges, coins that expanded outside the collar that usually keeps the shape tight and round. These quarters appear flatter and wider than normal, with a missing or distorted edge design. Though subtle to the average person, these changes scream rarity to experienced collectors. The condition of a coin matters just as much as its rarity. Most 1995 quarters were used in everyday transactions, passed from hand to hand, scraped across vending machines, and dropped into piggy banks. But a small number were stored, saved, or forgotten, leaving them in brilliant, uncirculated condition. These untouched examples, when found today, can command enormous prices if they are paired with rare errors. Collectors turn to professional grading services like PCGS or NGC to determine a coin's official grade. A 1995 quarter graded MS67 or higher is already rare in itself, but when it includes a notable error, it enters an elite category of valuable coins that attract serious interest from investors and hobbyists alike. One fascinating story involves a collector who bought a sealed roll of 1995 quarters from a coin shop and discovered an entire line of slightly misaligned, doubled die examples, proof that there are still hidden treasures waiting to be unearthed even today. These kinds of discoveries fuel the passion of coin hunting. Proof versions of the 1995 quarter, minted in San Francisco, were not meant for general circulation. These coins were struck with special care, using polished dies and planchets to create mirror-like surfaces and sharp details. Some of these proofs, however, were found with small striking anomalies, such as frost breaks or surface bubbles, making them distinct from the rest. In some rare cases, proof coins were accidentally released into circulation, where they suffered damage and wear like ordinary coins. These impaired proofs are collectible in their own way, as they represent a mishap in the minting process and provide an interesting backstory that adds value. Die breaks and cuds are another category of error that has been documented in the 1995 quarter. These occur when the die itself becomes damaged or cracked, leaving raised metal blobs or missing design elements on the final coin. The uniqueness of each break makes every one of these coins a one-of-a-kind find. Coin collecting is not just a hobby. It's an adventure, a treasure hunt, and a lesson in history all wrapped into one. The 1995 Washington quarter, while young compared to centuries-old coins, holds a rich potential that continues to grow with each passing year as fewer pristine examples remain. Coin shows and online marketplaces have seen a surge in interest around mid-90s coins, especially those with documented errors. As the pool of known rare 1995 quarters continues to grow, so does the competition among collectors to find the next great specimen hiding in plain sight. Even novice collectors are encouraged to check their spare change, coin jars, and pocket finds. You never know when you might spot a faint doubling, a slightly misaligned strike, or a peculiar texture that hints at something extraordinary. Every coin has a story, and the 1995 quarter story might still be unfolding in someone's collection drawer. The fascinating thing about the coin world is how it transforms the mundane into the marvelous. A coin that most people ignore on the street could, in the right light and under the right magnification, turn out to be worth far more than anyone expects. Awareness of these rare coins spreads through social media, YouTube channels, and online forums. More and more people are beginning to realize the true potential hiding in everyday coins. The thrill of discovering a valuable 1995 quarter has become very real. Each 1995 quarter carries with it a piece of history. A snapshot of a year when Bill Clinton was president, the internet was just becoming mainstream, and gas prices averaged around $1.15 per gallon. Holding onto a coin from that time can feel like holding a time capsule. The search for rare 1995 quarters has inspired a new generation of coin enthusiasts, from students learning numismatics for the first time to seasoned collectors expanding their error coin collections. This single year's coinage continues to spark curiosity and reward patience. It's not just the thrill of discovery that excites collectors. it's the potential for serious financial gain. When you find a rare variant of the 1995 quarter in pristine condition, with documented errors and professional grading, you're not just finding a coin, you're uncovering a piece of history worth real money. Even more compelling is the idea that these coins continue to appreciate over time. As supply diminishes and demand grows, prices can skyrocket, especially for coins with verifiable rarity, story, and condition. The 1995 Washington quarter sits squarely in this category. Whether you're a collector, an investor, or simply someone with a jar of change sitting by the door, it might be time to take a second look. Check the date. Look at the details. Use a magnifier. That 1995 quarter you've had for years could be far more valuable than you think. And in one extraordinary case, a pristine 1995 Washington quarter dollar featuring a rare mint error, preserved in near-perfect condition, was sold for a stunning total of $85,000. Top 7. The year 1977 was full of major events in the United States, from the presidency of Jimmy Carter beginning to the rise of personal computers and the cultural boom of disco music. But tucked quietly into pockets and purses across the country was something small, shiny, and seemingly ordinary: the 1977 Washington quarter dollar. While millions of these coins were minted for daily use, some held secrets that would only be discovered decades later by careful collectors. And today, one of those coins has captured the attention of the entire numismatic world. The Washington quarter, first introduced in 1932, was intended to commemorate the 200th birthday of the nation's first president, George Washington. Over time, this quarter became much more than a temporary tribute. It evolved into a constant in American commerce, circulating for decades with little interruption in design. And in 1977, that familiar design was still going strong, with its proud profile of Washington on the obverse and the bold heraldic eagle perched on the reverse. During this period, quarters were still made from a copper-nickel-clad composition, a practical replacement for silver, which had been phased out of circulation coins more than a decade earlier. Though the silver was gone, collectors soon found that not all 1977 quarters were created equal. Deep within bags of circulated coins, certain quarters revealed minting errors and special characteristics that would eventually send their values soaring. Most 1977 quarters were struck at either the Philadelphia Mint, with no mint mark, or the Denver Mint, marked with a small d. A smaller number were struck at the San Francisco Mint, but those were proof coins, crafted for collectors and not meant for circulation. However, as with many things in the world of coins, mistakes happen, and those mistakes become treasure point. One of the most desirable anomalies found on the 1977 quarter is the doubled die. This error occurs when the die used to strike the coin has a slightly misaligned impression, leading to a doubling of letters or numbers. It's not immediately visible to the casual observer, but under magnification, the details leap out. Liberty, in God we trust, and even the date, 1977, can appear with noticeable shadow-like duplication. For collectors, this kind of doubling transforms an ordinary coin into something extraordinary. Other rare versions of the 1977 quarter include off-center strikes. These coins appear partially printed, with part of the design cut off and a crescent of blank space along the edge. The greater the off-center misalignment, especially while still keeping the date visible, the more valuable the coin becomes. These types of errors are dramatic and easy to spot, making them highly sought after by new and seasoned collectors alike. There are also known examples of 1977 quarters struck on wrong planchets. In these rare cases, the coin may be smaller, thinner, or even a different color than normal, depending on the metal it was accidentally struck upon. Sometimes a quarter was struck on a dime planchet, or even a foreign coin blank. These mistakes create true oddities and fetch incredible prices at auctions. Broad-struck quarters are another hidden gem from 1977. These are coins that were struck without the collar that normally holds them in place, allowing the metal to spread out and lose its typical shape. They look slightly swollen or distorted, and their odd appearance makes them easy to identify and very desirable for error collectors. Then there are those ultra-rare transitional errors, coins that somehow were struck using leftover dies from another year, or with misaligned die pairs, creating combinations that were never supposed to exist. These unexpected pairings make for some of the most exciting discoveries in the hobby. Of course, even without errors, condition matters tremendously. Most 1977 quarters went directly into circulation, where they were handled thousands of times, exposed to scratches, dirt, and general wear. That's why finding a 1977 quarter in uncirculated or mint state condition is incredibly rare. Coins that have been protected in rolls or sets, or discovered in forgotten collections, are the best candidates for high-value grading. Professional grading services play a key role in determining a coin's value. A 1977 Washington quarter graded MS-66 or higher is already difficult to come by. But combine that pristine condition with a rare error, and you've got a coin worth far more than its face value. Some of these coins are encased in protective slabs, labeled with detailed certification, and featured in prestigious auctions. Proof coins from the San Francisco Mint, with their mirror-like backgrounds and frosted details, are also worth a closer look. Though they were never intended for circulation, some proof coins have found their way into public hands. These impaired proofs show signs of wear, but are still highly collectible, especially when they include errors like missing design elements, die cracks, or edge flaws. Collectors have also discovered 1977 quarters with repunched mint marks, where the D appears doubled or distorted due to a second striking. Though subtle, this mint mark variation adds uniqueness and value, especially to those who specialize in error varieties. Even environmental factors can make a difference. Quarters exposed to intense heat, chemical reactions, or improper storage might take on strange colors or tones. While most damage lowers a coin's value, some natural toning, especially rainbow patterns, can actually enhance desirability for aesthetic collectors. What makes the 1977 quarter particularly interesting is its combination of age, design continuity, and the possibility for major error types. It wasn't a transitional year, nor a year of great design change, yet it has produced a surprising number of valuable variations. It serves as a perfect reminder that even so-called normal years can yield incredible discoveries. Collectors often say the thrill of the hunt is as valuable as the coin itself. And hunting for the perfect 1977 quarter, whether in an old coin roll, inherited collection, or random pocket change, has led many enthusiasts down an unforgettable path. Many collectors have shared stories of unexpected finds. One man reportedly discovered a double-die 1977 quarter in a cash register while working a retail shift. Another collector stumbled upon an off-center strike while searching a bag of quarters from the bank. These lucky moments show that valuable coins don't always need to come from dealers or auctions. They could be waiting in your own spare change. Coin shows, online forums, and YouTube channels have brought even more attention to the 1977 quarter. As more people share their discoveries, the value of rare coins from this year continues to rise. What was once overlooked is now cherished, and competition among collectors is fiercer than ever as the years pass. Coins like the 1977 Washington quarter become harder to find in high grades, and error varieties become even more scarce. The number of known examples is limited, and those who already possess them are holding on tightly, aware of their growing worth. This resurgence of interest has helped inspire a new generation of collectors. Whether they're teenagers learning to use a magnifier for the first time or seasoned numismatists hunting the next big rarity, the 1977 quarter continues to ignite excitement and curiosity. The next time you receive change at the store or clean out an old drawer, take a closer look at any 1977 quarters you come across. You just might be holding a forgotten gem, one that's hiding incredible value in plain sight. In one extraordinary case, a nearly flawless 1977 Washington quarter dollar featuring a rare mint error and exceptional eye appeal sold for a breathtaking total of $78,000.